So Danny, Chief walks in with this, as soon as he walked in, I knew what was happening. He walked in with his book in hand because Chief Goyette watched our vlog where Aletha and I were fussing about the card for the interns, the one that declined that I said was ALEATHA'S fault, and I kept saying hashtag.
You don't have to keep saying that.
Hashtag not my fault, but the Chief is like, no, you got this all backwards, BJ. You're always the responsible one. And he said that this is required reading at the KPD, and he said now I got to read it.
Okay, we get there at 11:30, and the reason we get there at 11:30 is because if you get there earlier, you typically don't have to wait for a long time, right? We only have 5 people. We walk in, it was already busy. So we walk in, as soon as we walk in, BJ looks at the clock and he was like, yeah, we're probably gonna need to go somewhere else. And I was like, stop, we just got here. This fool sits down and sets the timer on his phone to time exactly how long it's gonna be. And then he gets upset when he polls the table at what qualifies as a little bit of minutes or a lot of minutes, and everybody said 30 to 45, and his timer was at 20. So again, BJ loses, and the reason he does is because the women in his life are always
right. They're always right.
He was so
they
mad.
always
Everybody
win.
was like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and he was like, no.
But I'm gonna put up a fight regardless. We're gonna go to Peach House. You want to join us? And he's like, cool. And I'm like, at everyone, I guess the 4 of them are going to lunch together.
No.
Forget the rest of us.
First of all, that is
right?
a bunch of bullshit. The first post I made in that group chat was lunch with Parker tomorrow. And the reason I added Trey was because the day before he couldn't come to lunch with us, and he said I could do it tomorrow, Friday. And I said yes. So I'd already told Trey. So I was just letting Trey know what we were going to be doing because he said he wanted to come to lunch. Well, I forgot about Trey.
Bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. It's hard to yell when the rounds in your mouth.
So we go and we sit down with the people that are here in the office, and we get a table. And then all of a sudden, you know, so Gracie comes, Parker comes, but then I saw Amy and I saw Stella. Garrett shows up. Brandon comes up. I see Brandon. I'm like, oh, Brandon did come by to say hey.
We should have gone to the next
I
one.
don't want to have lunch with us.
I'm melting in my seat because
I
I have the worst anxiety over stuff like that. I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to get along. We're gonna have a good family dinner. But I'm dying because I'm counting the chairs and realizing we are like 4 short.
We're like, what are we gonna do? And then while I'm sitting there and Brandon's like, and BJ's having a panic attack, all I can do was laugh. And in the middle of all that, Trey walked up.
So I had my office on North Street, and he came and I put him in the lobby basically in the office in North Street. So he would have. You started working with us when we were there still?
I helped move the office over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it was real close to when we moved up 105.
Yeah,
it was about the same time.
To a tiny small space.
He basically hired you because he didn't want to move his own stuff, probably. and then you just hung around. Well, he only had all he had was a desk.
Yeah.
That's why I don't feel bad about the stamp thing when I grab a stamp. It's a very small victory for me every time. Every time I grab a stamp. So imagine him at this stage in his life here, right?
He was like a dog in heat.
He had it.
He was ready to go.
He was ready to go. Everything to gain and everything to lose all at one time.
And he was going to bring you with him.
And I was along for the ride, whether I wanted it or not. So yeah, like I'm his soundboard for every idea that he possibly ever came up with, and it basically became my full-time job.
Yep.
But were you getting paid for that position?
No,
that's not the way this works.
I still don't get paid for that position. Then once he got an idea of what he wanted to do, that's when the list started. I would wake up to an email list of things that he needed me to do.
How did that make you feel, Brandon?
It made me feel like I worked for BJ.
That's how Brandon said it nicely after he woke up and told Amy, this motherfucker.
I was on it, man. I was on it.
He was
Sounds
on it.
like it.
He was on it, and he's done well for it.
And you're proud.